Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces. Welcome back to the Face It podcast. Today I am joined by the lovely Lisa from Beyoutiful Aesthetics and Training. Lisa, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's really good to have you on.
Thank you. It's lovely to meet you.
And you. So just to kick things off, why don't we talk a little bit about your business then? So do you want to just give us some insight into how it all started, how you got into the industry, and how you built your business to where it is today?
Okay, so I've always been involved in beauty, but I haven't always done beauty. I lived abroad for over a decade. So
Wow.
I returned about 5 years ago
Where did you live?
and I lived in Spain.
In
So
Spain, did you? Oh my gosh,
yeah,
amazing. Okay.
yeah, just outside Alicante.
Yeah.
And I'd got some training there as well. I'd got some training for SPMU lashes and things like that. So when I came back to the UK, it was like start again and new town, new everything.
Yeah.
So I decided I'd start off with lashes because in the town I was in, there was nobody doing that. And
Mhm.
then I quickly progressed, outgrew my first shop and then moved into a bigger salon and took on more staff. So,
Yeah.
and it's going from strength to strength. So, yeah,
Amazing. And then you've just sort of then gone to SPMU, then you've gone to your aesthetics, now you're in your training. Is it just sort of like gradually progressed like
yeah,
that? I think it's
yeah,
nice when I speak to practitioners who started off doing beauty because it really is a natural progression into aesthetics, isn't it? It's
it is. Yeah.
your client base grows, your confidence grows, you want to upskill yourself. And did you find that your original lash clients were then kind of asking like, you're gonna,
Absolutely.
yeah, they were pushing you to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a case of if you don't meet their needs, you'll find somebody else who will. I mean, you've got loyal clients. I mean, you do have loyal clients, but if they're looking for something more, they will go and find it. So,
Yeah, that's it. And I bet there were times before you trained where they were having to go to other practitioners. And I
yeah,
think as well, it's not only kind of like you say, giving them what they need and, seeing it as right, okay, lots of people are asking for this treatment. I should go and do some training. It's also for the clients, if they trust you and they like you, they
100%.
don't want to go to five different people for their treatments. They want to
No.
go to one
And you
person.
know their face.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
their skin, you know their face, you know like so much about them by that point. Do you know?
Yeah,
And like you say, they trust you. They absolutely trust you.
yeah.
But I went on and I did like 2 years down the road on my nursing degree as well. But that's a whole different thing. That was a whole other reason for doing that. But yeah, so that ties in as well.
Okay, so when did you want to go into nursing for the aesthetics? So,
No. So
okay.
I also ran a menopause cafe because I'm postmenopausal. And
Okay.
when I came back from Spain, obviously I was going through the menopause, didn't have any support, COVID hit, all the rest of it. And I just wanted to do something for women in my age. So I started up a menopause cafe with a friend, and then a doctor joined us. And then it just well, I discovered that like mental health is really massive, anxiety is horrific.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to go down. I can't go any further in the training I've got for menopause, so it had to be through the NHS and do it
Okay.
like medically. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh my
so it all
God.
ties in.
Amazing. So do you with regards to the menopause side of things, presumably you have a lot of clients who, have either gone through it or are going through it, and it's a
Yeah,
topic which doesn't get talked about enough, does it? It really, really
no,
doesn't.
100% not.
So do you find that your clients who are going through the menopause or have gone through it, they sort of come to you for treatments to just like make themselves feel better and that
Yeah.
that really affects their mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it does make you change into a completely different person. It's like adolescence in reverse. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So being able to go and get a nice wee skin booster or a nice facial or get your lips plumped, it just makes you feel so much better because there's things that are out with your control, and that's one thing that they can control. So it just goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and like I say, I think it's not talked about enough. So I think
No.
when it comes to clients with their practitioner, whether it be like an injector or their beauty therapist, I feel like you just offload to your practitioner. It's
Yeah.
I don't
You
know
do.
why. It's just it's like your practitioner. They just I feel like mine knows more about me than my friends and family do, just because you
Like
just
a
offload.
therapist. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like a safe space. And,
Mhm.
I think especially if someone's going through a difficult time like that, actually being able to come to you and get a treatment, not only that, but also like chat about it, offload. And then you've got the menopause cafe to extra support them.
Yeah, so
Definitely
it's
just goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
yeah, it really does, and it's peer-to-peer support because me myself, I've gone through it, so I can talk about all the different stages. My friend, she's peri. Well, she's no, she's going through the menopause just now, and the doctor that comes along is peri. So we've been at different varying degrees of the menopause. So
Yeah,
me myself, I know exactly how my skin reacted going through menopause.
yeah,
So I can give advice on skincare and things like that as
yeah.
well. So yeah, it
Amazing.
ties in.
That's the thing. It's, I don't want this whole podcast to be about menopause necessarily, but
Sorry.
no, don't be sorry. I think it's a really, really important topic to raise, but I don't want it to take away from
Yeah,
the podcast and what we're talking about to help you and promote you. But I think I don't really know anything about it because you don't learn it in school, and it's kind of
no,
just like you just sort of expected to find out yourself and
that's it.
deal
Go
with
through it.
it. And
Yeah,
it's just, and it's like, but even for, because I listened to a podcast that Davina McCall had done with Stephen Bartlett about the menopause, because she's
yeah,
written a book, hasn't she, about it? And she was like, it's not even just educating women, it's educating men, like people's husbands, people's partners, people's family members on like how to actually be a support and help deal with that in like
that's
with
it.
which is I can't think once where I've actually had someone sit down and tell me about it. And I'm a woman, and it's like a huge part of life. It's
I know.
crazy.
It is crazy, and that's why we do what we do because it's like a wee sounding platform for people. It's just,
Yeah.
somewhere for them to just to be listened to. That's like
Yeah.
sometimes and know that the things like your things you're going through are normal. You're not crazy.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you're so right in saying that, what you do with beauty and aesthetics goes hand in hand with mental health, because it certainly does. I know
It
that
really
when
does.
I get treatment, obviously, I think there's a fine line between getting treatments to help you be confident, but then also like body dysmorphia, and body dysmorphia is
Hmm.
a totally different kettle of fish. But I know when I have a treatment, whether it be a skin booster or even just my Botox or something, I feel so much more confident. I feel happier. I feel just
Yep.
better in myself. I know that if my skin's flared up, like that makes me feel bad. Like it's your appearance can like affect your mental health so, so much. Um,
Definitely.
so you're so right in terms of, mental health and treatments are going hand in hand, particularly with the menopause side of things as well. What sort of treatments do you find your clients are most interested in at the moment?
We get this is a lot to do with the way the country is just now and everybody's penny pinching and things like that. So our aesthetics are still ticking over with people who just not go without their Botox or not go without their lip filler. So we've tried to sort of do plans for people where they're getting more things like microneedling, things that are a wee bit more
Yeah,
affordable and things that they're still going to get the results. They might take a bit longer, but they'll last a bit longer. So it's all about trying to gauge where the country is just now, or especially my town is just now. Everyone's affected by this. So if
yeah,
we want to survive in this industry, we have to bend a little, So that's what we're focusing
100%.
on.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think everyone knows about Botox and dermal fillers. It's everyone knows what they are. But I
Yeah.
think when it comes to the other treatments, like you say, microneedling, that's where often clients need a bit more education on, what
Mhm.
it can do, the benefits of it. Because obviously, I think dermal fillers are fantastic because you get that instant result. Your client
Yeah.
can leave, like knowing they can come into clinic knowing they're going to leave with something and they can see a difference. I think
Yeah.
something like microneedling, so obviously like the results over time can be incredible, but you leave clinic looking like you've
Yes.
just been dragged through a hedge.
Yeah.
Obviously your skin's like sensitive, redness, and that's
Yeah.
obviously not going to make you feel amazing straight away, is it? So do you find that you really have to sort of talk through with your clients, you know, it is.
Well, what
Go on.
yeah, I totally get it. But what we tend to do is like I'll guinea pig everything. So I've got my clients that I've built up quite a good rapport with. So I'll microneedle and I'll show them my results. I'll take videos before and after shots. Then I'll get a few of my clients in and I'll get them to do the same and I'll reduce like the cost of the service and we'll do videos. And I think that's the key. It's letting people see like the before and afters.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to leave us, you're going to be red, but give it a couple of weeks and you will see the benefits of it. And
yeah,
it's got so many benefits. Also, I mean, it's like it's endless the things that it can do for microneedling, especially with all the products that you can use along with it for
yeah.
different things.
Yeah. Just out of interest, what products do you like to use in conjunction with microneedling? Because I know, like you say, there's so you can use essentially anything you want to,
Anything,
really. But what do you like to
absolutely.
use?
So now we're using like skin boosters, even like 70 Hyal is good to
Yeah,
use. Like a
yeah,
skin booster getting microneedled in, you're going to get some result from it, or
yeah,
you're going to get a good result from it basically. And there's people that are frightened of needles as well, like frightened of injections. There's so
yeah,
much out there in the media just now telling people, watch what you're doing, watch who you're going to, you can get this, you can get that. So it's a safety thing as well for people to know, but still being able to use big brands to get them
yeah,
good results.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
And I think,
hyaluronic acid, oh sorry.
oh, there you go.
So like hyaluronic acid serums and like using things like salmon DNA and things, peptides, all these kind of things. There's a big brand out just now, Derma 2.0. I've get good results with that as well.
Yeah,
It's an Italian brand. So if you're looking to do microneedling, there's lots of different places you can go to find good brands that give you good results. So and PRP, it's your own platelets, your plasma,
yeah,
you can do that as well. So there's
yeah,
all different ways. RF, RF's fantastic as well. You're not actually using any serums, it's just your body's healing.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, 100%. I think it doesn't get raved about enough because I think as well
no,
when your clients are getting treatments like that, when they do go for their dermal filler treatments or their, you know, more invasive treatments, they're going to get better results from them if they're looking after their skin and they're
yeah,
getting microneedling, you know, they're using good skincare. Because I
yeah,
think like maybe 10 years ago it was like, oh, Botox will fix everything. Just get some Botox, and you know you're all good. But I think everyone's so much more interested in skin now, aren't they? Which I think is a
that's it.
great thing because if you get Botox injections but you don't look after your skin, it's not no good. Like, yes, you might have a
No,
frozen forehead, but you know you're not
yeah,
gonna. You know, you'll look younger and more youthful if you're glowy and if you look after your skin. You know. So do you find
absolutely.
that with your clients, it's also about educating them on that side of things and, you know, very much kind of putting a
Yeah.
plan together for them?
Yeah, so we do a free consultation. So you come in and get a skincare consultation as well. You don't just get like your Botox consultation or a filler consultation. We do like from like the whole start from scratch. These are the products we would recommend for you to use on a daily basis. We try and I'll like I say, I guinea pig everything. So we'll get ones like products that are on the market easily available. We suggest using them. Then we suggest we do a wee plan, whatever the issue is with their skin. But what we are finding is when we're doing microneedling on people every 6 weeks, their Botox is lasting so much longer because the skin's built up, you know, the elastin, the collagen, the skin's got thicker, it's holding the Botox longer as well. So the benefits are really good.
Yeah, and especially like
So,
you said of you know, people being short on money as well. You know,
mhm,
it's a great, it's like, yeah, if you get this treatment, you're not going to need to get your Botox done as
just as
often as
often.
well. So yeah, it's everyone's happy. It's great,
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's
Um,
keeping us ticking over as
yeah, yeah,
well. So
definitely because
it's a win-win for everybody.
yeah, because microneedling and skin treatments are often quite low in cost to do, aren't they? You know, as long as you
Yeah.
you know, have your serums and your microneedling heads, you know, that's you
Yeah.
know, you're not
That's
having
it. Yeah.
to buy a prescription and things like that.
No.
So with regards to the training academy then, what at what point did you decide that okay, I'm going to take this to the next level and I want to train people?
Well, in the area that I was in, I was the first person there. It was like doing lashes, seriously doing lashes. And so I got a lot of people asking me, where did I train and different things like that. And I thought, do you know what, I could actually do this. I'm telling all these girls what I'm doing, how to map, how to get like sets, how to just make their sets look really, really good, giving them all my tips and tricks. And then I thought I could actually be teaching them this.
Yeah.
So I won my first award for lashes, and that kind of gave me the confidence. I was like, okay, so I'm okay. I've won
Yeah.
an award now.
Yeah.
So so I thought, right, okay, we'll go for it. So I did my AATs, and I got accredited. And then I won a brow competition. So I was like, okay, so my brows aren't too bad. I'll add that as well. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm obviously okay at what I'm doing. So then I just added on other services. I won't teach aesthetics. Not, I might do it once I'm fully, like once I've got my PIN number. But at the minute, no, I wouldn't. I know I can if I wanted to, but I'm not doing that. I think it should be a nurse that teaches you aesthetics. I really do.
Okay,
So I
that's
wouldn't.
interesting. So did
I
you do
just feel like,
training with the medical professionals?
yeah, I trained with a doctor and a dentist for 2 weeks for my Botox. And then I've got a friend who runs an academy in Scotland and she's a nurse as well. And I did my fillers with her. But I've
Okay.
done loads of courses. I think I've got like up to 27 certificates now of
Wow.
courses that I've done because I just keep adding on and adding on.
Yeah.
So
Amazing. With regards to that point you made, what was it about training with medical professionals that you feel, you feel that people should only train with medics? What do you feel they can give more so than a non-medic could within a training setting?
well, nurses are trained to act under like, so if you had a situation where something had went wrong, I mean, nurses are trained to act under that pressure. So if you're training with somebody who's not a medic and something goes drastically wrong, chances are they're going to freak out. We're only human, but like nurses are trained to deal with a situation when it arises, and it's like keeping your head cool, calm, and doing everything properly, like following protocol. It's drilled into you from day one. So, and it's all about like the patient care and making sure that the patient's like the priority in the situation. So I just feel that if you've got somebody there that's training you, that's completely competent, who's a medic, then you're going to get the best out of your training. You're
Mm.
not going to skip anything. That's not how they're trained. They're trained to do everything like follow a certain like guideline, and that's how they're going to treat you. But and I'm not disrespecting anybody who's not medic, but I just me personally, I just feel that's how I would like to be. I'd like to be taught, and if I do eventually ever go on to teach in aesthetics, that's how I'd like to teach. Just treat it like a medical process.
I understand your point of view with that actually, and I think
Yeah.
it's quite it's not something that I hear a lot of non-medics say either, but I think
Yeah.
it does kind of make sense.
It's just like when you're teaching somebody, it's not your hands that are on that patient, that client. It's somebody else's hands, and you can only guide them in what to do. And if they slipped or something happened, I mean, you have to be able to deal with it. And I'm not saying that non-medics can't, but I'm just saying that medics are they're more prepared.
Yeah. Okay. Would you say that once you've got your nursing pin, it's likely that you'll go on to the aesthetics training?
I'm not sure because I'm not sure. I just feel I'd wait until all the regulations were sorted out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's fair to teach people when you don't know what's ahead. Not just from my point of view, when you don't know what's ahead, I don't really think you should be. Well, I wouldn't want to teach people until I knew what was lying
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the regulation with the
I
travel?
definitely think that there does have to be regulations come in.
Mhm.
I'm not so sure about it having to be like all medics that actually carry out the procedures because I know a lot of non-medics that are fantastic, absolutely fantastic at what they do. They've been trained well and like their protocols are all up to scratch and they're fantastic. I just think and I know a lot of like nurses and like friends of mine who have actually trained up in things like Botox and then decided, no, it's not for me because just because you're a nurse doesn't make you a good injector,
Yeah.
it doesn't make you. I mean, you do get anatomy and physiology, of course you do, but aesthetics is completely different. We don't focus on the face in nursing,
Yeah.
so there's like absolutely two sides to this, but I do think everything has to come under one umbrella. I do still think that there has to be a professional medic, a medic on board when you're getting your training. for it, just in case somebody, even like something like passing out, you know, like
Yeah.
a client can pass out, and if you're not familiar with that and how, I mean, you might have had the training, but if you're not familiar with it, you know, it's like your mind goes blank and or you panic
Yeah.
or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So I do think there should be somebody there who's like that can deal with any complications that arise or anything that arises while you're getting trained, and then it's up to you as the person that's being trained to continue on with that and make sure that you're up to date with all your
Yeah.
first aid and things like that and your complications courses.
Yeah. You know that obviously if you're a healthcare professional, you like, for example, when you do qualify and to be a nurse, you will have to do training like once a year or every couple of years, whether it be anaphylaxis, first aid, general life support, all of that. Do you think that it would be good for the government to bring something like that in for the aesthetics industry, whereby there are there's specific training that everyone has to do in order to continue
Yeah.
practicing like that?
Like in an ideal world, maybe like if there was a course that was made available, and obviously a lot of people have spent a lot of money already on the courses that they've done, but if there was like some sort of course that was made available that was a bit longer than a couple of days course that encompassed all that, I mean, that would really be the ideal scenario. Do you know
Yeah.
that everybody was trained in the exact same things,
Yeah.
nurses and like or medics and non-medics, do you know?
Yeah, I think it's a
That
really
would,
good point to raise actually, because I think there are so many practitioners who are competent in complications and who say, you know, done complications training, I know how to handle a complication, which everybody should do if they are injecting.
yeah.
But it is like you say, it's general first aid. You know, do they know how to put someone in the recovery position? Do they know, you know, what to look for or what to do, for example, if someone slips and falls?
Yeah,
It's you know, it's all well and good being able to dissolve some filler in an emergency situation, but do you know
yeah,
how
if
to
you
deal
could.
with sort of general first aid? Do you even have a
Yeah,
first aid kit on site? It's
exactly.
it's interesting, isn't it, to think about that, because that's something that should be implemented, I think, with these regulations. It should be, you know, yes, you might have to do your level 7 or whatever qualification they do decide to put as mandatory. However, you are also going to have to do the same training as healthcare professionals with anaphylaxis, with first aid, and keep that up to date. I think that's something that should be considered, definitely, now that we're having this
For
conversation.
me, for me, it, like obviously because I do SPMU, we've got to have that. So that's just part of
Yeah,
the protocols for us. We've got to be able to know first aid, basic first aid, life support, that sort of thing, anaphylaxis. So if that's like a staple for people that are tattooing, it should be like, across the board.
yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe it's something a lot of practitioners don't really think about. You know, they're so
Yeah,
focused on vascular occlusion. That it's like, okay,
yeah.
if you did have something like that, would you know what to do?
Exactly.
Because that's something that is probably a lot more likely to happen.
And if it happens to you and you're not prepared for it, it can be daunting. It can, like
Yeah,
somebody just passing out or being sick, or do you know, it's like,
yeah,
what do I do? What do I do? And
yeah,
even if you do sort of know, you know the basics, you're only human. You're going to panic. Do you know, you're going to get because you're not expecting it. Do you know,
yeah.
so it's good to keep all that sort of thing up to date. I would definitely say that has to be across the board.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, no, that's interesting to have that chat. With regards to the Faces app, obviously you've used Faces for quite some time, so thank you so much. You're very much a loyal Faces user. Do you want to just give us some insight into how Faces has helped with the runnings of your business and what features you like to use on the app?
Well, we used it to streamline because we were getting paper trails all over the place. And the best thing for us is the fact that everything's all just there. We know that all the legislation's all up to date as well, so we don't have to worry about the legalities of things. We know that users are all over that. And just like being able to send out the consent forms to the clients, like we run through them with the client and send out a copy as well. And knowing that they've got that there, that they can read over it, it's like having that whole cooling off period where they can read over it, let it sink in. It points out any wee red flags or it manages their expectations as well. And then for us, we know that they've also got the aftercare there as well, and they can read through the aftercare. And we do go over it all with them face to face anyway, but it's just peace of mind for us that they've got it. And we always say to our clients as well when they're leaving, look, this is your aftercare, we'll run through it, but you know you've got a copy of it and you can go through it any time. That's peace of mind for us.
Yeah, I think especially for semi-permanent makeup as well, because like when I've had like my brows and my lips done before, it's like you have to be so careful. You can't even get them wet. Like you've got to be so careful, don't you? Like it's crazy.
And the
Um,
healing process, oh,
oh my
and it's
God,
not known,
when
like,
I had
they're
my lips
dark, they're
done,
not.
it was awful. First of all, it
Yeah,
was painful. I was like, oh my God.
yeah,
But secondly, like, oh, they go so crusty and like you can't get them wet. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah,
yeah.
100% the aftercare is super, just like you say, reassuring for you to know I've gone through it, and if they need to look back on it, they can do.
It's there.
Because as well, I think, especially if you get like a treatment like dermal filler, for example, I think clients are off, and myself included, get quite excited at the end. You're really happy. The aftercare just kind of goes over your head. You're just
Oh
like,
yeah,
you're just
yeah.
really happy with the treatment, and you want to like, you know,
And then you wake up with a bruise, and it's like, is that normal? Is that
yeah,
supposed to happen? And yeah, so
exactly.
it's really good for us as well to like. I find it when I'm filling in my forms with the client, I get chatting with them, and it kind of puts them at ease a wee bit as well, and it lets them
Yeah,
know that I'm putting them as a priority, like they're like my top priority, and that they're safe, you know. So
yeah,
that always reiterates that when you're going through the forums, they know that you're being professional, you know, and then
yeah.
you've got all the information, it's data protected, it's just yeah, it's just
Amazing.
ideal.
Yeah, perfect. And I'm really glad it's working for you. With regards to any other treatments that you're looking to add to your treatment list, is there anything that you're doing any further training in, or are you just sort of holding fire at the moment?
I'm holding fire just now. There was a few things like hydrofacial that I had my eye on, but again, it's this whole like people just not having the money to spend on these sort of services. Or people are looking for things that are more back to basic just now. So that's the direction we're headed in. We're just
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
keeping things back to basic. Obviously,
yeah.
we still want to use big products, and we use the pharmacy all the time. But at the end of the day, we've got to give the client what they can afford basically just now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. I think, it's best compromising a little bit, and
Mhm.
giving your clients the alternative options. I think that's a really good point to make,
Yeah,
and something that maybe anyone who's listening should consider if they are finding that, clients are not going for the more expensive treatments, or they literally just, can't really afford Botox and things right now, looking at alternatives. Okay, so
yeah,
right now let's look at a different option where you're still going to get a good
yeah.
result. It's just a different way, and different end result as well. No, completely think that's a great idea. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, lovely. It's been really,
Welcome.
really great speaking. I cannot wait to hear more about your menopause cafe as well, so I'm definitely going to follow and have a look at
Good.
that. And I think if
Thanks.
anyone's got any questions on that, then just drop Lisa a message, because I think it's not talked about enough. It really, really
No,
is.
definitely.
So
I think as beauty therapists as well, it's like an ideal opportunity for us. Like if it's something you were interested in doing and giving that service to your client, okay, you're not going to get paid for it, but it's not always about what you're getting paid for. It's about you.
exactly.
It's about how you are with your client. You know that whole rapport thing. So
Yeah,
and the trust.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Definitely, be there for your clients.
Yeah.
100% offer that support. All right, thank you so much, lovely. I will
Thank
see
you.
you soon. Take care.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.